You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Close for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic bootcamp, Moveville University, Pure Chiro Notes, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Vita Chiropractic, the Universal Traction System, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, and Imaging Services. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 47 of Chiro Hustle. I'm your co-host Luke Millette, and here's your host Jim Chester.
Hey everyone, so today we interviewed Mark Romano, and if you guys want to know more about non-therapeutic chiropractic, stay tuned. So what is your chiropractic story and what influenced you to become a chiropractor?
You know, that's a great question. And the only thing I could say is divine intervention. It was a calling. I was about 12 or 13 years old, and I was getting into bodybuilding. I lived just outside of Boston. I grew up in a town called Malden. And, man, you know, of course, this is back in the early 80s, so there's no internet. And, you know, I'd go to the library and, you know, I want to learn information about being a bodybuilder. So I'm at the library. I pick up this book by a fellow named Franco Columbu. I'm about 13 years old, just started high school, and you know, I just want to lift weights and become like all those cats in the movie Pumping Iron. So I see Franco Columbu's complete book of bodybuilding. I thought this was cool. Let me check this out. So I'm reading the book. You know, I check it out of the library, and I'm reading the book. And you know, Franco Columbu. I grew up in the Italian part of town, so Franco Columbu, he was one of the guys that I looked up to. He was Italian. He was about 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide. He was a strong man. He was a Olympic, Mr. Olympia bodybuilder. He was Arnold Schwarzenegger's best friend. He was a boxer. He was all these things. And then he was a chiropractor. And I'm like, well, that's unique. I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. And there was a sentence in that book that really just, you know, to paraphrase, it said, as a chiropractor, I find bone misalignments in the spine that produce nerve interference, and I help the body make an adjustment. And a light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, man, I would get that done every week. I want to do that. I want to help people live better through that. And it was like this instantaneous big picture light bulb goes off. I'm 13 years old. And, you know, what's crazy was I started my journey then, and I started to seek out chiropractors to talk to. And as soon as I turned 18, I took myself to a chiropractor and, you know, said, look, man, I want to work for you. I'll work for free. Just teach me and, you know, check my spine and all these great things. And then, you know, of course, the road gets a bit confusing. And then, you know, here we are, golly, you know, 30-something years later, with that same objective of, look, we want to help. My goal, one of my 10X goals, is to do everything I can to influence as many people, all 7.5 billion people on the planet, to have the spine checked every single week for vertebral subluxations. And I do everything I can to empower chiropractors with incredible techniques to be massively successful. And we've been on fire ever since. Every day I get up, I'm thrilled and excited to be a chiropractor. I've been in practice for, you know, this is my 25th year, and we're still going 7 days a week doing what we love to do, and just very, very thankful. And I'm also very thankful for this interview, so thank you for this opportunity.
You know, for us, it's a great platform to share the story of chiropractic. And one of the tenets of what we do is we put out more content than anybody else, and we hold that in a high regard, so sharing your story is a blessing. And having people get to know you from our platform is also a blessing. So we're really pleased with the opportunity to share the big idea, but not just ours. I think when you tell your story over and over, it kind of doesn't have the same mojo. But when you have other people telling their stories mixed with your story, it gets a chance to reinvent that momentum almost daily.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we feel really lucky to be able to do what we do and be able to integrate the chiropractic story daily into people's lives. I think that's a really awesome place to be because, like you know, everybody needs to get checked and adjusted when necessary. And, you know, a lot of times people just don't know, where to go or who to trust. So when we share the story, people start to realize that, yeah, this is good for me. Yeah, I should bring my kids in. Yeah, I don't have to be in pain for this to help me.
That's exactly right, buddy. That's awesome. That's exactly right.
So let's talk a little bit more about you. What makes you unique in the chiropractic world? I know you said that you have some programs you help chiropractors with.
Yeah, that's right. I've been in practice for 25 years. To my knowledge, I'm the only chiropractor on the planet that goes 7 days a week after 25 years. That's to my knowledge. I could be wrong there. I practice in a very idealistic model. I practice in what's called the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic, where we see people for the correction of subluxations weekly for life, because vertebral subluxations in and of themselves are detrimental to the expression of life. So we've built 3 massive practices that we enjoy. I have a chiropractor that works with me, my right-hand guy, Dr. Black Peebles, who's just wonderful. And I've been training chiropractors for, at least 20 years. And, I'm a published author. I have a book called Why Chiropractic, which, goes over the 2 models of chiropractic and why chiropractic is an extraordinary habit for extraordinary people to live to their fullest potential, and how necessary it is. Also, we just recently launched an institute, and the name of the institute is the Non-Therapeutic Straight Chiropractic Institute, where it teaches chiropractors, of course, goes over the philosophy and how we have to be totally congruent in every area of practice, and it teaches chiropractors how to influence, how to market, how to create massive levels of attention, how to sell, how to close, and how to get people really excited about the value and the habit of seeing a chiropractor on a regular basis. I'm also the chairman of the board of the Chiropractic Trust, which is an international organization for chiropractors in the non-therapeutic model. And we practice on a regular basis. So everything that I have in the Institute are things that I've used daily for almost 25 years in regards to building our practices and continuously growing and maintaining them, and helping all folks in all communities live better through the habit of chiropractic.
Yeah, that's so cool. Healthy habits are something that I think everybody should take away. We recently got Luke's mom in to go see a chiropractor, and it's just really cool because she went in there because she was having some complications with her arm, and for the longest time it didn't appear to be working. And yesterday they had a chat, and it seems that her arm is starting to feel better.
Well, that's always wonderful. That's always wonderful. And the beautiful thing about those habits is, nothing's a cure-all. So it's always great when you can have the symptomatic relief. And we always have to remember that there's more than one thing that can contribute to conditions and symptoms, and that chiropractic, as necessary and powerful as it is not the only thing people need to be healthy, strong, and live closer to their fullest potential. However, it is one of the most important habits that they could ever have, and so is breathing, eating, sleeping, exercise, positive mental attitude. And when people stick with it, only good things happen. The worst thing that happens under regular chiropractic as a habit, the worst thing that happens is the quality of people's lives improve.
So what are some mantras and quotes that you use to continue your momentum as a doctor?
It's a great question, brother. One quote that I love is, "Be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid." The correction of vertebral subluxations for a better expression of life is one of the most powerful messages I've ever heard in my life. And just hearing that gets me excited and ready to shout it out from the mountaintop. And being bold, not because of me as a person, but because of the purpose that I'm engaged in. The correction of vertebral subluxations for a better expression of life creates tremendous passion and drive and motivation in my life. So, dealing with rejection, is just a part of it. And then being in places to where I'm sharing the message, overcoming all those natural things as humans that we, don't feel great about in regards to approaching people and talking to people. those things are overcome because this purpose is so strong, so much bigger than me. The thought of people living with vertebral subluxations keeps me up at night. It keeps me up at night. I can't sleep. I can't dream of the thought of people living with vertebral subluxations when we, and so many people like us, have the skill set and to be able to communicate, articulate, and perform, adjustments. So the purpose ignites me, motivates me, gets me super excited. And mantras such as "Be bold," and "Mighty forces will come to your aid." And to me, what could be more important to be bold about than the correction of vertebral subluxations, to the point to where, whether it's in my office or any chiropractor's office around the world. The other thing is, I write my goals down twice a day, and one goal is 7.5 billion people seeing their chiropractor weekly. Just gets me excited, Just talking about it right now with you all gets me super excited too.
Yeah, for me, it's really cool to hear the enthusiasm that you have after 25 years of practice, and it's really cool to hear, that how, deep ingrained you are with your belief system in this chiropractic method. And to me, I think that everybody deserves to, like you said, 7.5 billion people deserve to get at least checked for vertebral subluxation. And if it turns out that they find that chiropractic is the avenue for a better health regimen for them, like you said, it's not the only thing, but it's very important. But we also have to consider the source. The people have to have good thoughts about what they're doing with their life. They have to make sure that they're getting clean drinking water. I mean, there's so many things that go into good health for somebody. But, back to, the old Sid Williams thing, is it works whether you believe in it or not,
That's right. I mean, these are principles we live under. In fact, truth of the matter is this: people are paying for chiropractic whether they go to the chiropractor or not, because if they don't go to the chiropractor, they're paying an extraordinary fee in A, the damage that's being built by vertebral subluxations that they are living with, and B, the quality of life that they should be experiencing but can't because vertebral subluxations are present. So you're absolutely right. Belief is very important. Everything in the human mind is a belief, and when that belief is based on a truth, wow, look out. So yeah, man, love it. Totally agree.
So what would you say is possible for the future in what you're doing and accomplishing right now?
Oh, man, I love that question. The future has never looked brighter for chiropractic. I tell you, as far as it goes, like this institute that I just released, I'm an international speaker. I speak around the world for, basically what we're talking about, non-therapeutic chiropractic for the world. Seeing a chiropractor weekly, and there's two things I'm absolutely sure about. I'm very confident. One, every human being on the planet needs chiropractic, and two, I can't see everybody. So I speak through South America. Next year we're going to Europe, and having this institute where people can log on 24/7 to be able to learn all these principles and have it extensive. There's well over 100 chapters, hours and hours of content. There is no fluff and everything, and it's broken down into 4 to 10-minute video segments, and you're tested after the end of each segment. You guys may know Brad Lee. You were just at the 10X Growth Con.
Yep, Brad Lee, that guy's hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious. This is his system. This is light speed. So Grant Cardone, this is where Grant Cardone got to his next level when he put his university system on light speed. So, this is the same folks that have done our platform. And having the ability to teach chiropractors the tools, because, school teaches only as much as they can in regards to their philosophy and their technical skills and the ability to pass national and state boards. This takes chiropractors to the next level of success, and now they can log on to it 24/7 no matter where they're at in the world. And I could see chiropractors seeing massive amounts of people and having literally a massive positive change in consciousness of humanity, because people around the world are having their spines checked on a regular basis. And that, to me, is incredibly exciting in completing the, B.J. Palmer's ideal utopia that he talks about in his green books.
Yeah, so let's talk about philosophy a little bit. I know that non-therapeutic has a different type of philosophy when it comes to the chiropractic care provided. Let's talk a little bit about the philosophy behind that.
Absolutely. In the non-therapeutic model, we define chiropractic, and keep this in mind. This is simply a model in chiropractic. If chiropractors want to practice in the other model, the therapeutic model, there's certainly nothing wrong with that, and the majority of the profession does and helps a lot of people. In the non-therapeutic model, our intent is to take care of every human being as if they are our own family. So we define chiropractic philosophically in our model as that chiropractic is the analysis of the facilitation of the correction of vertebral subluxations because they, in and of themselves, are detrimental to the expression of innate intelligence. Chiropractic is all education toward this objective, and in this model, chiropractic is nothing else. So this definition also provides us with our scope of practice, that we don't want to be everything to everyone under the sun. We want to be the best chiropractor humanly possible with a crystal clear specific intent of the correction of vertebral subluxations, not as a treatment of a condition or symptom, but as a weekly habit throughout their life, because exclusive to the fact that vertebral subluxations are always bad and the correction is always good, and our intent has no other reason.
Yeah, that's straight foundation. You know, when you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it and who it's for, and you build the mantra around it, it makes sense. I mean, that's the type of care I want.
Love it, love it, love it. You're absolutely right.
So we're going to turn it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm under the same type of chiropractic myself. I see a chiropractor myself and have my spine checked between 5 and 7 days a week, and we simply have allowed the opportunity for others in the public to do so as well. So I'm with you. I'm with you guys. I want to get checked as much as possible because I want to live to my fullest potential as well.
Yeah, I was just hiking with some buddies yesterday, and I got adjusted in the parking lot after our hike. My one buddy had his table with him, and popped it up and just adjusted myself, and the other guy that was hiking with us was a chiropractor too, and they adjusted each other.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? And you gotta love when you're seeing folks doing exactly what they recommend, because you know, I can remember even Zig Ziglar, who actually was from Mississippi, and a lot of people don't know Zig wanted to be a chiropractor, and he just went to other fields and obviously did very well there as well. One of the things about Zig was like, look, if you're not sold on your product, you're not selling it to anybody else. You know, you're going to be stifled into the level of success you can experience unless you're doing exactly what it takes to have the best quality from the product that you're involved with. So when I hear stories like this, Jim, I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, you know, and we shot little videos of it, and you know, we got a little audience, a couple guys that were there hiking stopped over and watched the adjustments going on, and it's just pretty cool. I know that, you know, a lot of what the belief systems that you have are very much fundamental to the practice of chiropractic. But this question might open up some eyes of our listeners. What would you say is the biggest thing to happen to chiropractic in the last decade?
You know, I've been in practice for a long time, and I've seen a lot of good things that have happened, and I've seen a lot of difficult things. Being in the non-therapeutic model as long as I have, 20-something years, I've seen a lot of chiropractors not make it because they could not sell it. They were great at the technical skills. They were fantastic in the philosophy, and they truly loved chiropractic, but they could not make it. So, man, and I hate one of the things that I think is going to have a profound effect is the institute we just released, because it's going to teach chiropractors, all chiropractors, whether you're in the therapeutic or non-therapeutic model. It's going to teach you how to create massive attention, sell, and close it. So, all you know, with the internet and social media, chiropractors are moving out of obscurity, which is just awesome. So podcasts like yours, I think, are fantastic for getting this message across, and also the fact that you have all this energy and understanding of chiropractic, and you haven't gone to chiropractic school yet. Yet. I say yet because something tells me that may possibly be in your future. However, even if it's not, what you're doing in chiropractic is amazing by creating the awareness and getting chiropractors so excited about what they do.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and the thing that really touches home is we have more connectivity than ever before. And I would say, based on that question, is the thing that's happened the biggest over the past decade, in my opinion, is that we all have social media aspects. And like you said, when people start using the media in their favor, we have a megaphone like never before in the chiropractic industry, and for that matter, any industry. But we have a chance to bring chiropractic mainstream if everybody just stays consistent and does what they're supposed to with the media that's already allowed to them.
Isn't that the truth? I think it was Ed Milet that said the next step in social media isn't the next technology breakthrough. It's people who are able to utilize what we already have to the maximum of its potential. And I think, and I was watching this video because I really like Ed Milet. We're from the same part of the country too, so that's exciting. He was talking about, you got this social media now. He goes, could you imagine doing the things that we do today before social media was around? Imagine in the 80s taking a Polaroid picture of your lunch or of your face and sending it out to your friends. Hey, just took a selfie. Tell me what you think of it. And, oh, by the way, feel free to share it with your friends. So what you're saying, I think, is absolutely on point. It's going to be, how are we going to use it? How congruent are we going to be with our message? And how big are we going to set our goals and our massive levels of action, So it's like we've got to be congruent. And we have this incredible opportunity to really share our message in a way that can be profound, because this social media avenue provides us with an avenue we've never had before. So, I totally agree. It's just going to come down to how are we going to use it.
Yeah, and what you said just makes a whole lot of more sense to me when it comes to being consistent with the message. And I think that's what's going to put chiropractic on the front lines of helping with some of these things going on with the health system. And one of those things being the opiate addiction, and one of those things being, the crisis that we're having within, sick care model. But the chiropractor has to have a consistent message with good enthusiasm behind it, and there has to be good branding along with that, and it just has to be so darn consistent. Is what I'm saying is we just have to have good enthusiasm like we have today. We have to have a streamlined message of chiropractic locates, analyzes, and corrects vertebral subluxations. We have to make sure that we make that consumer grade to where people know where to go and who to trust for their health.
Yeah, I love it. And I think what we're going to find, and this is something that's interesting that you just brought up, being as a non-therapeutic chiropractor is outside of the, sickness model. If we focus on people's habits on a regular basis, we're going to see such a spillover into everything in life. Because think about it. If people, just like you're saying, if people are living better, more consciously aware of what they eat, of their attitude, of the water they drink, of rest that they get, and the people they hang out with, and the exercise, and chiropractic in that mix, the only thing that's going to happen is the quality of their lives is going to improve. And there's just no telling what kind of profound impact that's going to have on every aspect of their life and on the whole world in general.
Yeah, and when you're not thinking of your health shortcomings, you think of abundance. And
there you go.
You think of greatness, and you think about helping and serving more people.
Yes, and where focus goes, energy flows, right?
Yeah, and one of the guys in our first film, Chiropractor, the documentary, is Dr. Patrick Smith, and he runs a membership practice in Denver. His clinic is called Chiropractic, and just an awesome guy all around. But he's like, he was telling me about this membership model, how he practices, and he was telling me about why he does it the way he does. He's like, well, I came from the insurance-based model, and I came from the therapy-based model, and it didn't make me feel like I was practicing chiropractic. He's like, because every time that me and my buddies got together, we would pass right by the ultrasound and the stim units and all that stuff, and we'd go lay down and get adjusted. And he's like, that was chiropractic to me, so that's how I wanted to serve my patient base. Is I wanted people to just come in, lay face down, get adjusted, and allow me to check them for subluxation and correct it, and allow their body to heal from inside out.
Isn't that exciting? He wanted to give his community the same quality that he and his family have as chiropractors. That's exciting. And Patrick's a great fella, a lot of passion, and that excites me that, hey, look, I want to be congruent with my personal and my professional life. And that's certainly a powerful motive behind the membership fee system practice. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, and isn't that what you want? You want to go in and if you're going to go on a lunch with your colleagues, you're going to walk by everything and just get adjusted. I mean, that's just the essence of chiropractic is done with hand.
Yeah, well, I have a group of chiropractors that I'm around on a regular basis. We check each other constantly. I'll make it a point to go to their office. They'll come to our office, and we're going to get checked on a regular basis, 5 to 7 days a week. We get our spines checked. So yeah, no doubt, that's exactly what I want. And the ability to bring it to the community in the same congruent way is super exciting on a daily basis. There is never a day in the office that we are not amazingly excited to connect and see, 80 to 120 people a day.
So where do you see chiropractic in the next 20 years?
I see chiropractic moving more toward the non-therapeutic model. I see chiropractors taking care of their community like their own family. I see third party phasing itself out. I see chiropractors getting more and more excited in this profession growing to where there's a chiropractor on every corner. I see chiropractors experiencing massive levels of success in families 2, 3, 4, 5 generations not knowing life without seeing a chiropractor on a regular basis. I see chiropractors being happier and more successful than ever. And I see the consciousness to the understanding of chiropractic as a habit growing in a profound way that's going to be bigger than any one of us has ever imagined, to the point to where chiropractic, the profession, is literally in a massive shortage of chiropractors to provide this service.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people, is if everybody wanted to get checked, there wouldn't be enough chiropractors to provide the service to the amount of population out there.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly right. And I love helping chiropractors be massively successful. And you said something earlier, Jim, that was dead on about focusing on wealth and abundance. So many chiropractors, and I'm saying this, but it's really people in general, focus on the negative, where they think success is scarce and that somebody's success is taking away from their success, which simply isn't true. So it's almost to the point to where you have to be careful where you can celebrate your victories and where you can even open up your office. I think chiropractors did a very narrow-minded thing and lacking the vision when they had things like radius clauses and things of that nature. So, we talk about chiropractors that, even chiropractors that want to build these big practices and have this great vision get upset sometimes if a chiropractor opens up next door to them. So what I'm looking forward to and what I love is helping chiropractors experience this massive level of success and celebrating that with them. I've had many chiropractors that work with me over the past 20-something years. Some of them moved down the street, and we've helped them build their office there. And by doing that, even when the people from from our office went and left to go to them, we built our office back even bigger than it was before, and it just simply increases the awareness, much like if you'll ever notice, whether it's car dealerships or fast food, whenever a new car dealership or fast food restaurant opens up, they open up next to other businesses of the same nature to increase that awareness. And I would love to see the same thing with chiropractors, a chiropractor on every corner, where the thought of not seeing a chiropractor every week is as crazy as not brushing your teeth every day.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic bootcamp, Movewell University, Pure Chiro Notes, Dr. Alok Trivedi, the Black Diamond Club, Element Mattresses, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Vita Chiropractic, the Universal Traction System, MedZone, Vantage Point Marketing, and Imaging Services. Let's hustle. Hey brother, I'm on the same frequency with you. I know a couple things that you're saying there touched on success. And I just wanted to dig into that a little bit with you. What are the top 3 things that most chiropractors think to be success? Do you think it's getting more new patients? Do you think it's keeping the patients that they have already under care? Or do you think it's opening up multiple offices?
Jim, this is a great question, man. This is awesome. The DE model, it's a very popular model, the dynamic essential. Sid Williams came up with this dynamic essential, where what you do is so amazing, so powerful, it's so needed that people will pay money just to be in your presence. So Sid had this vision, and I think there were so many things about Sid that were dead on. Sid wanted every human to be under chiropractic. He opened up the chiropractic school and named it something as big as he could think of. He named it Life College. What is bigger than life? So, then this dynamic essential was based upon seeing people to have vertebral subluxations corrected. So as far as success goes, it has to start with congruency, a purpose. What is the purpose? And let's define it crystal clear. So I'll use our office as an example. It's certainly not the only example. Where chiropractic is the analysis and the facilitation of the correction of vertebral subluxations because they're detrimental to the expression of innate intelligence. So there's our why. Now you have to be congruent with everything else in practice to that why. So chiropractic is a habit. Now with that, many chiropractors, let's just say from that purpose, totally congruent, used numbers to say how successful we were. If you've ever been to a DE seminar, and even in the therapeutic model, it's also there of how many people are you seeing a week, because that determined of how powerful you were of an influence in your community and how much better your community was living based on the numbers you were seeing each week. And Joe D'Onofrio, a mentor of mine, has an estimate that if you see about 500 people a week, you are making a positive difference in your community. Now, with that being said, retention is paramount. So chiropractic is of maximum benefit and significant benefit only when people make it a habit. To come in once in a while and have vertebral subluxations corrected is like brushing your teeth once in a while. It's simply not enough to experience the full benefit of chiropractic. So having massive levels of retention through your education, through your crystal clear objective, and your ability to create that story that's engaging, congruent, and a vision that people want to be a part of, your retention is massively important, and it's going to be reflected in your numbers. As far as having multiple offices, as a person who's had multiple offices for many years, 2 decades, I don't recommend doing that. And here's why. I teach chiropractors around the world. The offices that I built have apartments in them where chiropractors from around the world would come and live with me. And they'd be surrounded by chiropractic on a daily basis, so they could totally be absorbed. And the most profound way that they would be reimbursed is through the experience they have, and then they'd get paid a percentage of what they collect, so on and so forth. Having multiple offices, if you're a single chiropractor, makes you at best half a chiropractor at each office, and it probably quadruples your overhead. My recommendation is put all that energy into one office in a fabulous location, in a fabulous community, with fabulous people that you are serving, and then market that one office, and literally you will be much more successful seeing more people with a lower overhead at one office, because that is where all your attention is going. So as far as successful, yes, it's going to be crystal clear, congruent and purpose, congruent to that purpose. It's going to be numbers. It has to be with retention, and then it's got to be with you paying it forward. I would love to see chiropractors seeing over 1,000 people a week, to the point to where they can no longer accept new people in their office, and they're referring new people to the chiropractor that used to work with them that's now practicing down the street.
So what do you like to read and listen to in your spare time?
What do I like to read and listen to, brother?
Yes.
Let's see. That's great, man. I love some Grant Cardone. I've read all of Grant's books. Highly recommend the 10X Rule. Let's see, what else? I'm books on Audible all the time. I just got through listening to a book on negotiation, Never Split the Difference. Currently reading a book that's actually on closing right now. Let me see what the name of this book is. The name of the book is The Lost Art of the Close by Anthony Iannarino. And this has been a fun book as well. Constantly Tony Robbins, Joe Strauss's Blue Books. Little bit of Tim Ferriss is always a great read. There's so many folks, and I've been studying Spanish here a bit, so I've read a few books on Spanish as well. So estoy estudio español todos los días porque yo quiero hablar español con mis amigos todo lugar. I'm studying Spanish because we have a very large Spanish community, and I want to be able to speak to my friends everywhere. And golly, I could go on and on. I read about a book a week. So I'm always looking for that next great book in regards to motivate, to learn some new techniques, to reach people, to communicate. I love Jordan Belfort's work. I love Grant Cardone. I love Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Joe Strauss and chiropractic. Of course, I recommend read my book. I made it to where it's like the 1 Minute Manager. You can read it in about an hour and know enough about chiropractic to be able to have a conversation with any chiropractor on the planet, and know that it's one of the most valuable investments you will ever make in yourself. So that's just a few. Richard Bandler, NLP, great stuff. There's so much information that you got to be reading every day. Read, and then books on audio, so you can be in the university of your car, to where you're studying. Where you're studying while you're driving around in your car. Right now, I think I'm listening to Think Fast and Slow, which is interesting. So, constant and never-ending improvement. All this material that's out there right now, we can benefit so much in a way that we never have been able to benefit before in the history of mankind, which will be even better tomorrow, next week, and next year.
Yeah, something, Dr. Mark, what I've done over the past years, I've reflected a lot on where we were, and we're pressing into our first year of running this podcast. And I think about the levels of relationships we have with the chiropractic community now because of what we've done and how we've positioned ourselves with the truth of this beautiful profession of chiropractic. And the more and more I hear what you're saying is there's a select group of people that people look up to. There's a select group of influencers in our modern era that we look to for motivation and inspiration and truth. And the more that we can have impact on them, the Tony Robbins of the world, the Tim Ferrisses of the world, the Gary Vaynerchuks of the world, the Grant Cardones, the more that we can have an impact on them with chiropractic, then chiropractic becomes the go-to because they trust it.
No doubt, and what a powerful influence they are. And you hear Tony and Grant talk about chiropractic quite often, and I love it. I was actually on Grant's show. I called in on Grant's show. I was so excited, so got to share the non-therapeutic model with who knows how many tens of thousands of folks, and that was just exciting. And I study on Grant University as well, so I'm there studying every single day on all of his great, amazing content. And I've read every Tony Robbins book there is, and Tony's got great stuff too. So yeah, just like you're saying, Gary Vaynerchuk, amazing. Crush It was awesome book. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Being able to influence these folks who are on a massive level of innovation and communication definitely is powerful for what we do, in this podcast here and your movie. Absolutely powerful.
And that's just it, Mark, that's the position I'm going at. I'm going at it with fists clenched, with a smile on my face, and I'm telling this chiropractic story daily to the point where people are eventually going to see it so often that they're going to say, maybe I should go get checked for vertebral subluxation and adjusted if I need it. And I think that eventually they're going to say, wow, that Jim Chester guy, he did so much to have an influence on the chiropractic profession. And that guy was so on fire from the early stages of when he worked in an office to where he grew the chiropractic profession in Denver to where he made the film. And that eventually they're going to say, Jim Chester, who are you reading? Oh, this book by Jim Chester. He put it out. It's on chiropractic. It's brilliant. You got to read it. That profession is where you want to be with your life. And I really think that together with what you're doing and what we're doing, we have so much congruency with this beautiful message of chiropractic. People just don't yet. We don't have it to the point where it's consumer grade yet, where everybody says, I need this.
I love the vision, and I would totally agree. Are you familiar with Marcus Bach?
I don't know Marcus Bach.
He was a very good friend, a genius of a man, very good friend of B.J. Palmer's, and I could see a lot of similarities between you and him. And yeah, I can't wait to read your book. So yes, and you're already doing it. You're already creating a massive level of influence and working together, which of course is the only way it's going to happen. Nobody can do it alone. Working together to get to that consumer grade where, I was reading, or maybe I was listening to it on an Audible, on what they did with toothpaste. In the early 1900s, people weren't brushing their teeth every single day. And it wasn't even the dentist that got people thinking like that. It was the toothpaste company. The first toothpaste company was Pepsodent. And people just didn't brush their teeth. And I think this might have even been in the 1920s or 30s. I'm not sure exactly. So Pepsodent is doing everything they can to influence people to brush their teeth on a regular basis. And when they first came out with their toothpaste, it didn't taste very good. It didn't foam. It wasn't a nice color. So all the foaming and things and the taste, they did not because it was necessary, but so consumers would be more interested in using it. Anything for a hook. And they came up with these other hooks and these catchy sayings, and finally it caught on. It caught on that people enjoyed brushing their teeth. I don't know what exactly the tipping point was, but I thought it was interesting, and of course trying to relate that to chiropractic, to what is our hook, what is the tipping point that we can sell people on the better quality of life that chiropractic will provide them, and to get it away or out of simply the chiropractic families having the true benefits of chiropractic, taking care of the community as they are our own family. So it's not just the chiropractors' families that are enjoying the benefits of a better quality of life through the service we provide. And I think you have a very unique perspective and approach to be able to help us all find that hook, that one exciting sentence to drive this message home of, look, you're paying so much by not seeing a chiropractor. And we have something that will improve the quality of your life in a way that will help you reach your fullest potential and take you to levels you can't even dream of.
Yeah, your words are coming through my microphone so crystal clear.
I love it, love it, love it. This is exciting stuff. What you're doing is exciting and much appreciated by everybody. So, man,
so we're going to switch gears with you just slightly.
Okay.
We're going to talk marketing. I know that you have a book out, and you have education programs for chiropractors. What are you doing to market yourself and to help grow this beautiful profession of chiropractic?
It's an awesome question. I look at marketing and advertising as a bit different. Where marketing is where the chiropractor is personally involved in reaching people or the public or the community. Advertising is where it's more or less something you pay for that you're not directly there. So advertising would be things like billboards and radio and TV and newspaper and telephone book and maybe some kinds of social media ads. Marketing is where the chiropractor is directly involved, and typically it's not as expensive, and a lot of times it's free. So social media provides a wonderful venue. It's free, and I think social media is tremendously underutilized by chiropractors. Chiropractors, you're not going to make one post on Facebook and people see it. There's so much noise on Facebook. You're going to have to post between 13 and 20 times a day. Doing videos, a 1-minute video is powerful. And putting that video out there, you can use your social media from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Periscope, Snapchat, WhatsApp. I mean, it's limitless. Twitter, that you can post these 1-minute videos about something fun, educational. In your office, we post them all day long, talking about whether it's success, the habit of chiropractic, the need for powerful habits in your life, the power of influence of the people that you're around on a regular basis. And, you can get as personal as you want to, not in a way that's drama. I don't think Facebook or any social media needs to be used for anything personal drama, but personal in regards to, let me tell you about an experience I had today and how amazing it was and what I learned from it. So social media right there. And we do other things as far as follow-up. You've got text messages, phone calls. We still send out letters to all of our new folks after they've been in to the office, thanking them for coming in and looking forward to serving them in the future. We go, and I do this to this day, guerrilla marketing, hugely powerful and very inexpensive with an investment of your time. I'll take some brochures, my business cards, and I'll go door to door in business and greet people and let them know I'm the chiropractor down the street, and is it okay if I leave some brochures and business cards with you? And I can't tell you how many times a conversation gets started. I've been thinking about seeing a chiropractor, and we'll make an appointment right there and then. I'll text them to let them know of the appointment date, time, and the address of the office. And that, to me, personally, is one of the most powerful ways that a chiropractor can build their office. Between that and doing social media, the biggest investment is your time.
Hey man, I would agree with you 100%. I think one of the most important things to do is meet people where they're at. And half the time when people are in their business or in their office, they'd rather talk to you.
You know what? You're right. And I think if the chiropractor goes in with, hey, I'm on their time. I don't want to be a bother. I just want to leave some information if they're okay with it. And a lot of times it's exactly like what you're saying, Jim. People are like, hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask you that. And you're like, wow, what a wonderful doorway of opportunity that folks are asking us questions about what we do. So yeah, I totally agree. I would totally agree.
And back to Ed Milet that you mentioned earlier, we have to get evangelical. I guess I can't say that word.
Evangelical.
Evangelical with our message. And we have to create, the opportunity to, like the chiropractors always say, share the story. And if you don't create the opportunities to share the story, then you're kind of, in my opinion, you're sitting on your hands and you're sitting on the message.
That's exactly right, and you're doing a disservice. I would totally agree and take it a step further. I believe it's our obligation, duty, and responsibility to share this message and to bring it to the world. And when we're not doing that and we're not influencing people and we're not helping them close on the most important habit that they could possibly have, we're doing a disservice and we should be apologizing.
So I guess I'm going to throw the ball back into your court a little bit. And how do we create more people that are going to be evangelical about this profession?
As far as chiropractors inside and outside the profession?
It doesn't have to be a chiropractor. I mean, from our last conversation that we had, I was talking to you about how to make a chiropractic sales force.
Yeah, I love it too. I love it. But I still consider you in the profession, though, brother, because you're so passionate, man.
Well, there's a lot of opportunities, but, what I really want to touch on is we're going to need a lot of support. And, I've seen what's happened in certain groups. There's certain groups that have support and then it becomes a cluster of islands under that leadership. What I'm really interested in is how are we going to get more people to become beacons of light for the message of chiropractic, I guess?
Man, that's a great question. I think what happens is this, what you all are doing, what I'm doing, we're passionate, we're burning this huge flame of passion and excitement with our intent. And I think that fire is going to draw people to it. And you're creating massive levels of awareness through action. So I think the more action that we take and the more attention that we get is going to bring more and more people together. As far as organizing it, the Chiropractic Trust is one of the organizations. It's the organization of the non-therapeutic model. That's one area of leadership. However, I'm not sure if this is a leadership question. I think, we're doing all we can constantly to create more and more awareness, which is going to attract more and more people. We just have to always look how to do it better, look how to do it bigger. Now, is your question more toward how do we organize and structure it? Is that more where your question's going?
Well, I just know that there's a lot of intent behind the chiropractic truth. I just see that there's certain groups in the chiropractic profession that do a really good job, but it almost is only under their brand. And when we have these, cluster groups of people that are only interested in their brand, I think that we leave the big play that doesn't ever we never call the big play. It's like we keep on winning the game, but we never call the big plays. And I think that we're missing the opportunities when we have so many groups. I'm not going to mention groups, but by name. But we have so many groups out there that are doing the best that they can, but we're missing the boat when it comes to the strength in numbers, I think.
I think we are too, and I've thought about this a lot. I love everybody. I love chiropractic, and I respect when a chiropractor wants to practice in a way that's, different than mine, whether it's in the therapeutic or non-therapeutic model is up to them. And I love everybody, and I can respect people having a different way of practice and even a different philosophy as well. My question is, how do we find that common ground? How do we focus on getting folks to think in a way that's non-judgmental and in a way, more important, to create some element of unity? So that's a powerful question, and I have had it on my mind as well, Jim. I just, even with this institute that I'm coming out with, I wanted to reach all chiropractors and inspire all chiropractors to be a better human being. Practice in a way that's that's constantly committed to excellence. And I think what you're asking here is something that we definitely as a profession have been dealing with for a long time. How do we come together? Because there is that lack of unity, and then there are people who are really close to practicing similar, but they focus on their differences rather than the similarities. So I'm totally open to ways to bring more unity to this profession for the very reason that you're saying, so we can have that big play. So we can have the big play and have that mutual respect,
Well, see, that's just it, is the big play gets the big win, and the big win is making chiropractic mainstream. And for all the people out there that have vision to do that, it has to be without the ego involved, and it has to be a holistic profession. And if people are coming to chiropractors for a holistic vision of taking care of them through the care of their spine, that's a huge, big idea. But it's going to take a big play in order to bring chiropractic mainstream to, like I like to call it, consumer grade. We have to get a consumer grade to where people actually want to start selling chiropractic for a profession.
Yes. And creating this unity, creating the big play, creating that massive level of consciousness that everybody on the planet needs chiropractic and is paying for it, and paying much more going without it. So this has been a question that has come up for my 25 years. This has been a question that's always come up, and it's got to be without the ego, and it's got to be focused totally on the passion. And a lot of times, even some things that may seem like ego are really just passion, because people are so convicted on whatever belief they may have in regards to technique, philosophy, the model. It's a passion that's a driven passion that you find it not exclusive to chiropractic, but very much so in the chiropractic profession.
All right. Well, we're getting towards the end of our episode here today. Do you have any website links or social media links you'd like people to have so that they could find your work and get in touch with you better?
Absolutely, brother. Would love for folks to come on and check out NTSC Institute at ntscinstitute.com. Come on in, check out a free trial. Let me know what you think. And we're, super excited to bring this to the profession. You can also check out my office at www.thefamilychiropractors.com. The Non-Therapeutic Chiropractic Institute is a separate entity from my office, and I'd love to share both. So ntscinstitute.com, and you're going to have all my contact information there. Go check out a free trial, and I look forward to hearing from everybody. This has been a great interview, guys. Y'all did a fantastic job, as usual.
Well, we can't do it without passion from the people on the other side of the microphone. And, with us, we just know that we're all just one story away. And the chiropractic tenet is to share the story and to tell the story. And I think that we're all just one story away from making chiropractic rightfully where it's supposed to be, in the front of the health system, to where people can go in to practice healthy habits like we were talking about early on in the interview.
I love it, man. I love it. Powerful, brother. Powerful.
All right, Mark. Well, I want to thank you for being our guest today. I know we had a lot of fun over here. And yeah, I think this was a really good episode, and you gave people some stuff to think about at home.
Thank you, Luke. I really enjoyed it too. I think you guys are awesome, and that was just a great job from the both of you, and a lot of fun as well.
All right, Mark. Well, you have yourself a great day, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Looking forward to it, guys. Keep up the great work, and I know I'll be hearing, seeing, and looking forward to your new material very soon.
All right. Thanks, Mark, and we want you to enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, buddy.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.